In this video, we're going to talk about how to keep your vacation home in your family for generations. Hi, I'm Sarah Siedentopf. I'm an estate planning and probate attorney in Atlanta, Georgia. So, how can we keep the vacation home in the family for generations? Maybe your grandparents owned it and now you own it, and you want to make sure that your family keeps it and can enjoy it for a long time to come. So, there are lots of options, but here are some of the major ones. So a first, what I will say is perhaps easy choice, is going to be putting the house in trust and designating who can use it. We would put a trustee in charge, that could certainly be a family member. It could also be a professional trustee company so that we could, make sure that there's, people on down the line taking care of this. But at the same time, in this trust, we need to have money for the upkeep of the property. So that's the first option, is putting the property in trust for, here in Georgia, it could be up to 360 years, but also funding the trust with assets to pay for the taxes, the upkeep, all of the maintenance on the property over that time period. A second option that also involves a trust is going to be a qualified personal residence trust. And so that has some tax advantages, but basically you put the property into the trust for a certain length of time, and as long as you, as the original owner, outlive that length of time, at the end of the period you have chosen, the property passes on to your beneficiaries, so you no longer own it. At some point, it does pass to someone other than yourself, your family members. But there is a discount for tax purposes on the gift. Because the gift is, so far out, you do get a discount on that. So this is a popular way to pass on a house to the next generation. Another option is a family limited liability partnership, family LLP. Putting the vacation property into that business entity and having family members as shareholders in the corporation. So that can last, for as long as you want to. With this, again, you're going to want to think about how are we funding the property, because if we just dump a vacation home into this business and there are no other assets, who is paying the taxes, who is paying for upkeep, what happens when we need to repair the steps, who's paying for this? And so that's a big question even before you start thinking about how are we going to pass this on, is who has the money to finance this? How are we going to finance a long-term, maintenance of this property? Because if you own it, you're paying for the upkeep, but as soon as you pass it on to, your children, if you have multiple children, then we're likely to have arguments about who can use it and when, who gets the good dates, who pays the taxes. I'm mad because you took it over Christmas, so I don't want to, contribute for, the maintenance on the roof. Or maybe I just don't have it, and so one of the beneficiaries has to pay for the roof just because they have the personal means to do so, and it isn't fair. And at some point, the not fair might even just be so much of a burden that the property has to be sold, which is, of course, not what your plan was. So it is very important to talk to your family members about who has the means to keep the house up and who has the motivation to do so. You may have family members who really, really love the property, and a better plan would be to pass it on to that specific family member and let them know that you really hope that they allow the other extended family members to gather in this home at some point, but pass it on to the person who is able to take care of it. So there are a lot of options for keeping your vacation home in the family for generations. But you really have to work out what is the best situation for your family and how are we going to fund it. So If you want to talk about vacation homes and estate planning, please give me a call. I would love to hear from you. And thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.